Thanks for joining me today, and welcome to the sandwich generation, where you and I are stuck in the middle between our kids and grandkids and our parents and grandparents, and we're just trying to figure out how to survive it all. Today we're going to talk about questions that you need to ask communities when you talk to us on the phone. Remember, it's important to answer that call and talk to us. And that's the only way you're going to figure out whether we're the right fit for your family or not. So there's a few questions that you might not think about asking that will really help you hone in on what is important. Let's unpack that. There are a lot of questions. You can go online and research, and they'll say, ask all these questions to communities. And those are all really good ideas. If you're the person that makes a list, I would probably sit down and make that list before you talk to anyone and just ask the same questions to every single community you talk to. That'll help you narrow down your search drastically. There's a whole range of flavors there, and you need to get to the root of which one's going to work best for your family. You need to know, can you afford it? Because if you can't, it doesn't matter how good or bad they are. And so a lot of you just got this handed to you and you don't know about mama's finances. You need to find out. You need to find out if anybody's a veteran, that they could have the veteran benefits floating out there, if they have a house to sell, if they have a life insurance policy that they might want to cash in, if they have savings, if they have things in the stock market, all sorts of things. But when I think about right fits, I think about what size of a community would work out better for your loved one. A lot of people think mama needs a lot of care. I want to make sure she never falls again. They can still fall, but it's unlikely. We prevent it as much as we can, and we're right on top of it if they do. But, if you are one of those people who are looking for that true, like in their face, 24/7 kind of stuff, maybe residential care is a good fit for you guys. Because in residential care, there's an aide or two, and there's maybe 3 to 5 residents, and they're in a house, so it's smaller, so they can't have as many places to fall. A lot of people think that's a good idea. A lot of people want that house feel, but they just don't feel that the residential care communities are quite up to snuff. A lot of people worry that they're not as regulated by the state, even though they are. But a lot of people have that concern. You've got this 1 or 2 people in this house, and how do we know what's really going on? And so maybe you want that feel, but you want to step up a little bit. That's where a place that is a small community, set up like a house, but it's in a commercial area, that might be a fit. Let's say they have 16 to 20 residents and their rooms are like this on the sides. And then in the middle, you've got the big kitchen and the big dining area and the big living room where everyone's all together. So it's like a house, but it's a little more commercialized. You might feel more comfortable with that. If you are looking for a very home-like, in a large personal living space scenario, look for a larger place. And then there's the people in the middle. Studios are what you're going to find the most in assisted living, because if you think about it, the more assistance they need, the more likely they're going to fall. In those scenarios, the less stuff around them is probably an ideal situation. If you've got somebody in a 4-bedroom big old house and they have just clutter absolutely everywhere, that's all a giant risk, right? And it's true also that the older you get in life, the less stuff you need around you, and I see this over and over. There's a video that I can send you from our resident ambassador, and she says it so well. She said, I came here, I had all this really big furniture, I came from a big house, but I knew when I moved, I didn't want all that. I didn't want the giant furniture. I didn't want all those things. And so she scaled back, and she brought some of her things from her house. They brought some things that were new, And it all worked out for her in a really nice way. And if you've got those people in the middle who are saying, yeah, but I don't want just the one big open space, I really want a separate bedroom, that's what the one bedrooms are for. Or if you have a couple, let's say you have a married couple and they want to stay together, a one bedroom apartment would give them a little more of that breathing room. And so think about things like that. Those are questions you want to ask that aren't necessarily on those lists, right? Because the feel and the fit of the place is just as important as whether you can afford it. And just as important is whether they serve the meals you need. Some places you'll find they will do vegan menus for you. They will have, a large buffet every day, but that means your loved one has to be good enough physically to make it to that buffet. That's another deciding factor right there. We have people that say, oh my gosh, we have such heart trouble, no salt whatsoever. They have to have a no salt diet. There are places who do that. And you'll find other places, maybe they serve less things. In residential care homes, sometimes you'll get, less of a variety of food. So if food is important to you, if food is going to be a huge factor for your mom, you need to look at the food part and ask the food questions. When you're thinking about, can we afford it? Where is it in location to you? Because that's a huge factor too. Most people, like 95% of people, wind up choosing a place that's close to their house, and that makes sense. But all of these things, you have to sit and think through, what is the priority for your family? What is the priority for your mother? Does she need to be in a place where she can garden? Or does she hate gardens and she's fine just being over here in a high rise somewhere? There's so many great varieties out there, and it can be mind-boggling to go through them all. So think about it like that. Think about, what are your priorities. Make a very, very short list of what that part is, and ask those questions to see where there'll be an actual fit. I know it's a lot to think about, so let's stop. Let's think it through. You need something, you call me, okay? Thanks for watching.